Hello and good evening. Welcome to a live webinar by IMSCIE. And today we have Akshat Magore, and he's going to talk about how he got into Yale DEFRD. Akshat Magore has secured a place in the prestigious Yale Silver Scholars MBA program. Let's have Akshat now in the studio. Hi, Akshat.
Hi, how's it going?
Yeah, great. So let me then start off. How are you doing and how's everything?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm back in India for now. Yeah, just with my
Lovely,
family.
lovely. Okay, so Akshat, here's the first one for you. Tell us a bit about your academic trajectory.
Sure. So, as you know, I'm currently a first year Silver Scholar at Yale School of Management. Before this, so I got here directly from my undergrad. So before this, I did my undergrad at NMIMS. I did a Bachelor's of Science in Economics, the
Right.
BSc Economics. And yeah, while I was at NMIMS, I was pretty involved in the college community, and I've had internships in banking and consulting.
Mhm.
And I also started like my own organization called Uttam Brain Trust, which like works with nonprofits and small businesses. So I got a 99th percentile. That was a 760 on the GMAT when I wrote it. So yeah, I mean, an MBA has pretty much always been on my radar, considering I wanted to be in the world of business, and an MBA just makes complete sense.
Right.
I think why I wanted to go international with it, there's two major reasons. One is that business schools outside of India, specifically in America and pretty much the UK as well, they have a very strong international student body.
Right.
At least the top 20, top 50 B schools have a very strong international student body.
Right.
I feel like that was something personally that I would get a lot out of, because until then I had pretty much only interacted with other Indians,
Mm.
and yeah, I just wanted to see what it's like to go and speak to people from an entirely different background,
Right.
entirely different country, from a personal growth perspective.
Correct.
Secondly, I also think that going to business school outside can really open up opportunities around the world for you.
Right.
You become part of this sort of like a global pool of talent rather than just within India. So it
Right.
gives you a lot more mobility, whether you want to work in the US, the Middle East, whatever it may be. The most important thing, in my opinion, was really understanding where I am at in my life, like what my career trajectory is and what I want to gain out of business school,
Correct.
and
Mm.
what each business school can offer. So I
Okay.
think, in that step is where really I feel like the value addition from IMS came in, because it really helped me contextualize that, all right, these are the business schools that seem to be a good fit for me.
What efforts and best practices you're taking to come up with a strong application?
Yeah, I mean, when I started applying to business schools, obviously I
Yeah.
was in the position where I'm sure a lot of people are right now,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Correct.
Right? So I think, like, for me, it was A, doing a bunch of research, and B, going to the right people. So
Okay.
Sumit worked pretty closely with me on my applications, and in terms of really helping me understand what is the personality and the culture of each business school, and
Mhm.
where I think I would be a good fit. I think that is probably the most key aspect of it, because working hard on your scores, working hard on your profile, other than that is obvious. Like, you have to do that.
Mm.
You have to work as hard as you can for the GMAT. The higher your score is, the better it is. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, that's kind of an obvious thing.
Mhm.
Uh, you should try and get the job which suits what you want to do.
Okay.
Again, that you should anyway be doing. But I think when it comes down to the actual application,
Okay.
I actually was able to work with Sumit a bunch, and with Deepti as well, a bunch, on really understanding that, all right, like, these are the business schools that I think will be a good cultural fit for me. They're a good career fit for me.
Right.
And I think once you have that fit ready, then your application kind of writes itself. While I was at SOM, which
Uh-huh.
we'll probably get into, but like, where I literally cold emailed the CEO of this firm that I wanted to work with,
Uh-huh.
and he actually called me into his office in New York, and I was actually able to go there.
So, any particular advice? Okay.
So it's just really about talking to as many people as possible, getting all the help you can,
Right.
uh, to really understand from a very personal context, which business school is a good fit for you. And I
Okay.
think once you have that in place, a lot of the everything else kind of becomes easier, because then you have context for what you want to write in your essay. Then you have an
Right.
idea about what your strengths are. Yeah, I've been very happy. Like, the past year of my life has been probably the one where I've grown the most.
Mm-hmm.
It's also the entire international student body. You just learn so much. Like my learning team and some of my closest friends, one of them is from Japan, another one, she grew up in China,
Mm-hmm.
one from Texas, and
Right,
another one of them, a closer friend of mine, is from Colombia
right,
and Boston.
right, right,
So
right.
we just like it's you get this whole mix of cultures, and it's like a melting pot where you can really experience everyone else's cultures, and you grow a lot as a person. I think the part that probably surprised me the most was there's this one time I was just talking to a friend of mine on campus,
Hmm.
and a Nobel laureate just walked past us. Like Hitler himself just walked past us, and both of us just
Right.
looked at each other and we're like, okay, yeah, this is something that both of us have never seen before. So
Mhm.
just having access to that kind of a network is amazing.
What role does the career services really play in helping?
So we have the CDO, which is the Career Development Office. So they will, from day one, start guiding you. Like they will help you prep your resume,
Right.
conduct multiple interview prep sessions, and they actually get in touch with these employers and stuff. So you'll have all the big banks, all the big consulting firms, all of them come to campus, give presentations, and start recruiting you. Book an appointment with them and then go down there, and like for an hour you can just sit down with them if you want every day,
Mm-hmm.
and just be like, all right, this is what I want to do. How do I go ahead and do this? And they'll tell you the exact people that you can get in touch with.
Okay.
We have a huge alumni directory, uh,
Right.
which we can just find their email IDs, shoot
Mm-hmm.
them an email saying, hey, I'd like to grab coffee with you at this
Right.
particular time to talk about this. And yeah, the alumni is usually super involved. They're like happy to help you out. So yeah, especially if you are looking at the big firms, right? The big investment banks, the big consulting firms, they don't differentiate really between international students and domestic American students. So if you get into the top consulting firms, the top investment banks, they'll sponsor your visa, and once you get in there, they'll move you around within their firm. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not really much of an issue.
Thank you very much, Akshat.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Yeah. See you again. Bye. All the best.
thank you. Thank you.